to the next installment of the Ascent series, and we are using the good old trusty SSB transformer bar, whatever variation you have of it, the bar that sits on your traps with a pad to make it not hurt as much with handles. And this has been the MVP of the rebuild series, allowed me to squat, do various squat variations, and atrophy, maybe not my calves, but atrophy the upper leg during that entire stint. And when did I tear it? I think December. And then you're seeing this in June. So almost, 6 months, 6+ months of squatting with just the SSB. If we didn't have the SSB or other tool, would have had to use machines, find a new gym, which I did with this one, or belt squat. So yeah, that would have been some boring content. But anyway, we are using the transformer bar here at Iron Wolf, which is awesome that they have it. Super utilized piece of equipment. Kabuki is now defunct, but Rogue has a version which I own at another gym. But it's super versatile. Jesus, that I was just looking at the crease between my cheek and my underwear. Yeah. Basically, when I squat, I get some massive leg crease. So, and black doesn't do a whole lot of job. Doesn't do a great job of kind of hiding all that. But anyway, as I was saying before, super useful tool. A lot of different versions you can use. There's like a goblet squat, a low bar back squat, high bar back squat, SSB front squat, whatever. It just kind of shifts where the weights are held, so it's different stimulus. So that's basically how squats function. Wherever you have the stimulus is going to affect the degree at which you work your quads, hamstrings, etc. So we're gonna mess around with this. It's been super useful to use, and I don't have to worry about the bicep, any arm-related things too. People that are impinging anyway, obviously, if you can barbell squat, then freaking barbell squat, but not having to worry about, side effects of squatting heavy is a nice thing to have. So I'm always looking for ways to keep training, keep adding weight, and this is what I found that works for me. So our leg days, I like to start off with the most strenuous, tiring exercise you can do. Usually it's the one where you move the most amount of weight, unless, you've got a different standard. But do the heavy stuff first where you're fresh, have the energy, and then you move on to the other, what we call accessories. So squatting and deadlifting will always be something that I do. I'm probably never going to shy away from them. They will always be foundational to my training. I like doing them. I like doing them before the benefit. I hate squats, and I just kind of talked over that. That was the first heavy deadlift single we've done in a very long time. So that was 515, which I was just like, okay, cool. And you can kind of see, like, getting used to the heavier lifts is gonna take some time. It's a CNS related thing, and then we're repping 440 here, which I'm super happy about. We're taking our time, and I'm definitely using the Versa grips as I transition back over to these deadlifts just to keep balance. Obviously I didn't tear the underhand of the deadlift, I tore the overhand, which is the arm you can see now. And so just to kind of acclimate back, get myself, the confidence there. When I was deadlifting before, I used to get away with a lot of stuff, lack of positioning, and I'd fight through lifts, which didn't lead directly to the injury, but who knows what leads to what, and which is the straw that breaks the camel's back. So as I come back to it, we're going to have to fight through and get acclimated to that. So just various angles here. There's a little camera. Love my Sony camera. Nice and compact here. Nice low light capabilities and stuff too, though. So, but we're just gonna go slow. Obviously, not as explosive as you normally are. And honestly, I haven't touched my deadlift bar, completely deadlift bar in a very long time. I've just been doing, the traditional whatever bars lying around. There's an Ohio Power Bar here. There's also a couple of no-name brand bars too. So I don't really care. Doesn't really matter much to me as long as there's some form of no-name. But belt squat here too, and this was probably the number 2 MVP of the rebuild series. Being able to get leg stimulus and put decently heavy load into a lift without loading the spine or having the arm hold itself in a position that may be uncomfortable with the surgery, the shoulder, the bicep insertion, stuff like that. So is what it is. But overall, going to keep progressing this. I really like them. I'm messing around to kind of see the final version I want to use, you know, whether I want to use the Oli shoes or just go flat. Oli shoes definitely put a lot less stress on my ankles, but I feel a lot more power generation when I'm connected fully to the ground with the flat shoes. There's no heel that you can kind of roll forward on the toes with, but you can see here I'm doing reps with these, and that's the game plan here. Use this as the driver for volume, and then use everything else for the strength type of, you know, strength benefits. So we're kind of hitting all those different things here. So again, this gym's super fun. Lots of different variations of lifts you can do. So during the whole rebuild series, I was kind of doing that seated leg curl, which I don't really like. I prefer the lying leg curl, but they've got a lying one here, and then they've got this one, which is a nice unilateral movement. You just got to shift the settings around, and my big body's in the way here, but you can kind of see how it works. It kind of swings around. You move the different pad to the other side. Knee goes there, and then you kind of wrap the ankle underneath the other pad, and then it's basically like a fun little individual preacher hamstring curl. So a lot of cool stuff to play around with here. And you're going to see me kind of like branch into other pieces of equipment and stuff like that too. So we got a good amount of content coming, different things. We're going to track everything, going to keep doing strength stuff, and it's going to be a good time all around. But like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one.
Thanks for watching the latest video. If you want to help support the channel, I actually own my own wet shaving and grooming e-commerce website where everything's handmade by me. It's www.apexsoaps.com, and you can get a 10% off code using wet shaver. We've got some cool scents here. We've got some Coca-Cola scents, a horchata scent, traditional barbershop, just some really cool stuff. And you can purchase samples or you can buy the whole set. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email. Be quick to respond. Thanks for watching.